Conspiracy against the Filipino Sovereignty. By Her Majesty Queen Salvacion, our sovereignty is self-government, self-delineation, self-empowerment, self-declaration, under the rule of law, concurred, ratified under divine providence and intervention pursuant to the original Constitution, which is for the holder and redeemer on the hereditary succession in interest under the Treaty of Paris, a world peace agreement treaty signed by nations mentioned in the book Isaiah 14. The administration who took oath must promulgate the ordained laws and the Constitution, which they are now already in defiance and in violation all the way from the preamble, Article 1 and Article 2. The Philippine original Constitution was ratified, concurred by the United States, which supposed to be drafted immediately after the turnover in 1898. But they did not. Instead they award to Emilio Aguinaldo the First Republic, by the Pact of Biak na Bato, which does not conform God's covenant, for the reason he fled in Hong Kong, hid and surrendered. In Second Republic is where the Commonwealth comes in, using the grandfather law of CAD 292 is a grandfather clause of rights of autonomy ensured that this rights will never be infringed, protected under Commonwealth Act 141. The cabals are now the federal who was in control of the world since then. The spirit moves on in the family and clan to conspire and steal the rights of the true owner, and in short the people are for slavery, and this did not work either, so the Second World War came. They called it the Cold War, whereby we were occupied by the Japanese and the nation was mutilated and women got raped and killed, mass murdered. However, this was the time too whereby the Yamashita treasure was returned to the Philippines, and the same as US with General MacArthur. Now when war was over, the Third Republic was installed, in July 4 of 1946 after the 1935 Constitution was concurred and ratified by U.S. Congress, and in 1932 the Penal Code of the Republic was also endorsed in the protection of the Constitution. This is to basically protect the hereditary succession in interest, and the usurpers of dominion and authority, like right now, is also with the scripture, mentioned in Galatians. So the original Constitution forbid to be amended, yet the Republic amended the Constitution in the time of Marcos, with the support of the US, since we are still actually under control by them. This was to take gold out in the BSP, and this was recorded at the civil case 3957p. At this point before the declaration of the Third Republic, the United Nations already forewarned when Carlos P. Rimolo was the first Secretary General of the UN and to approve the Mines Field Agreement of the US. This they used the petroleum for additional collateral since they were short of gold already. So, at this point, everything was already planned that Marcos will be the president, to solidify the works of the dragon or the beast in Revelation 13, so since the original Constitution cannot be amended, yet they did because they already lost rights to administer. Since the administration is only responsible in the exploitation of minerals and natural resources for 25 years, which ended in 1976, they again had permitted even to declare the martial law, and Marcos was given blessing by the United States, and with again discussion of gold delivery to Vatican and China. At any rate, you can read and review this in CC 3957p separate decision with compromise agreement in 1972. The agreement is to take only 87,000 metric tons of gold, but Marcos took 16,000 metric tons and brought it to China, and the rest traveled all over nations. This looting has agreement in 1956 when there was turnover and relinquishment of all U.S. reservations in the Philippines, which is here in Iligan and Mindanao, including Jolo Sulu, that they use as Freeport. Marcos in addition went all over the nation, which he has knowledge of the gold bunkers, and went to Mindanao in Butuan and meet Tatay Tagliang and took again gold. Tatay Tagliang is the keeper of the bunker in Region 13, he is the supreme datu. Marcos, Greenspan of Federal Reserve and their entourage came to accompany in taking that gold. Honestly, all the federal notes, bonds and certificates were printed in Mindanao under IMF Bretton Woods agreement to pay for reparations of war damages and casualties. This is one of my sentiments, but here again this is done and over with. All those federal notes, bonds and certificates belongs to the Maharlika Crown, the independent Filipino government, Kingdom Filipina Hacienda, the host sovereign nation. In 1986, after the 1976 is expired on the Federal Reserve and the autonomy of the Republic, the new Constitution, the sovereignty was supposed to be implemented. However, there was a delay. 10 years turnover after 1976 is 1986. BSP made first executive order, all Marcos accounts are expunged, null and void. Then all cash management accounts was to return by BSP for the new charter. However, with no intention to return, they used the shadow government, incorporated the Republic, and began selling private rights, government-owned corporations controlled by oligarchs in full-scale land grabbing, plunder, looting and world wars. God forbids exploitation without free and prior informed consent from motherland.
Created using Powtoon.